Please join me in welcoming our guest speakers and panelists. Heather Brown from Tidewater Community College in Virginia. Paige Durham from Germanna Community College in Virginia. Kim Estes from Tarrant County College, Texas. Anna Haney-Withrow from Florida Southwestern State College in Florida. James Hardin from the University of Alabama in Alabama. Sarah Lewis from Baylor University in Florida. Laura McNeill from University of Alabama in Alabama. Arturo Ozuna from Tarrant County College in Texas. Our agenda next is Anna will start her presentation, followed by Paige's presentation. And then we will have a report of voice of chat. And then we will have the Q&A segment. After that, Sarah will lead a hands-on tryout segment. So that's today's agenda. Now with that, I'm handing it over to our guest speakers and panelists.
Thank you so much, Tom. This is great. And thanks everybody who's here, because it really matters, I think, that we continue doing this work together. And it's such a great opportunity. So let me find the screen that I would like to share. I've got too many tabs open, which is not a best practice, right? All right. Give me a thumbs up if you can see the Mentimeter. Wonderful. So this is something that allows us to do a little bit of interacting in our presentation today, and you can scan the QR code and play along on your phone. You can go to menti.com, as you see here on the left side of the screen, and enter the code. So please, as I see those thumbs up start to appear, I will know that you are logging in, and I'll give you a little bit of orientation of what we're going to do today while you're logging in. We're going to look at one instructional design principle. Many of you will be familiar with it. Many of you may not. And it's really serving as an example, because you could substitute almost any principle. Earlier, some people were informally chatting about constructivist learning. We could do the same thing we're going to do today with that, but we're going to look at something called UDL, Universal Design for Learning. And I'll put in the chat a way that you could learn more about that. All right, so keep logging in here so that we can get a little bit more of a sense of who you are, as I will just give you a very super brief overview of UDL if you're not familiar with it. Essentially, it's a way of including all learners by designing courses that have multiple means of engaging students, multiple means of representing the materials, and multiple ways for students to express their learning and different actions that they can take. So that is probably the most generic overview of UDL that you could possibly get, but I just wanted you to have some orientation to it so that we can use it as our experiment today. So our experiment today is going to involve using a large language model and doing some prompting of that model to figure out how do we incorporate some of those principles within an assignment or a course design or something else we're likely to be doing as educators. So Paige made this wonderful infographic, and I kind of chopped it up a little bit so that it would fit on the screen. So my apologies to Paige. She has a much prettier version of it. But these are some of the models that people are often using to interact with AI and to generate novel outputs relative to so very many things for us today. that will be designed. So have a look at those. And then what I thought I might ask is for you to do a little bit of interacting. So this is where you'll be on your Mentimeter app or second screen, and tell us, what is your go-to model? So you might just rate these in the order that you are most likely to use them. And I'll suggest that today for your activity that Sarah will guide us through later, you think about, do you want to use your go-to model, or do you want to try something perhaps that's a little bit differently? That's a little different for you. I'll put in the chat a way to get to each of these. So there are links for those of you who may not have all of the tabs open as I do. All right, so GPT 3.5 is the front runner because we can access it for free. Some of you might look at whether you can now access Copilot for free through your institution. And it is likely that you will also have a protected space to use Copilot. All right, so good to know. So we may have some opportunity to experiment today. And Paige is going to all right, little refresh there. Okay, so I'm going to turn this over to Paige so that she can talk a little bit more about prompting and get our minds started. So we've got the context. She's going to give us our tools.
Okay, so let me make sure my screen is, there we go. So this has been a fun experiment for me, so I hope you enjoy this little, I played around a lot. So I also created the background to go along with the slide presentation, and the theme is going to be the wizarding world of prompt engineering. So welcome, fellow wizards and witches, to the digital realm. Today, we're going to embark on an enchanting journey about prompt engineering. I will be your guide today, and we're going to uncover the secrets of crafting spells. Oh, wait, not spells, prompts that can command the powers of AI. So one of the things that you're going to find that's really important is having your prompt wizardry toolkit available. Well, what is that exactly? So as any good wizard knows, the power is in the details. And the same goes for AI prompts. So think of your prompts as magical incantations. Be specific, find balance, sequence your words wisely, and don't be afraid to redo and remix and try it again. That's the beauty of prompt engineering. It allows us the ability to look at things, see the results, analyze the results, reshape the next prompt that we give it in order to get better results. And so that we have this entire process that we're going through in order to make things so much better. So each element, though, in your prompt is extremely important, and it's also going to determine the AI's response, which is very much like making a potion. So there are some frameworks that we need to talk about when we're talking about prompts. So we have a bunch of them, and I'm going to go over each one. And they are very catchy little acronyms, and they likely will probably, be used to help you remember which one. But it is about getting your queries correct and understanding, making sure the AI understands whatever it is as the wizard you are wishing. So let's talk about the first one, which is RTF. So imagine you're a magician putting on different hats. The RTF framework is about defining your role, clarifying the task, and choosing the format. So here's an example. The role, travel guide. Task, plan a 3-day itinerary. Format, list format, including must-visit spots and food recommendations. And the prompt would look like this or sound like this. As a travel guide, create a 3-day itinerary for a family visiting Paris, including must-visit spots and local food recommendations presented in a list format. So that is your first one. Now let's talk about tag. Tag is like setting out on a quest. You define the task, you describe the action needed, and you clarify the goal. For example, the task is writing an informative article. Action, research and compile. Goal, educate readers about renewable energy. And the prompt would sound like this. Write an informative article by researching and compiling the latest advancements in a renewable energy aimed at educating readers about sustainable practices. The next one is called BAB, which is your storytelling charm. You paint the picture of before, you envision the after, and you ask for a bridge to connect them. Here's an example. Before, low engagement on social media. After, increased follower interaction. Bridge, strategies to achieve this. Prompt would be, we currently have low engagement on our social media. Suggest strategies that can transform this into a vibrant platform with increased follower interaction. The next one is care. Care is like weaving a spell with all of the necessary elements. Provide context, describe the action, clarify the intended result, and give an example. And here's an example. Context, new product launch. Action, create a marketing campaign. Result, attract young adults. Example, include past successful campaigns. And the prompt, for our new eco-friendly water bottle launch, create a marketing campaign aimed at attracting young adults. Include examples of our past successful campaigns for reference. The next one is RISE. So with RISE, you're setting up a magical formula. Specify your role, describe the input, outline the steps, and set the expectation. An example is role as a financial advisor, input, client's investment portfolio, steps, analyze and suggest improvements, expectation, increase in returns. And the prompt, all put together, as a financial advisor, analyze the provided investment portfolio and suggest improvements to achieve an increase in returns over the next year. So as you can see, each of these frameworks casts a very different spell, allowing you to conjure precise and effective prompts. Use them wisely to harness the full potential of AI in your magical quest for knowledge and innovation. The next thing is modes, use cases, tones, and format. So just like choosing the right spell for the occasion, selecting the appropriate mode, use case, tone, and format is crucial. Whether you're an intern conjuring up new ideas or a teacher seeking knowledge, the way you phrase your prompt can turn a mundane AI response into a magical revelation. So now let's look at this. So for modes, in the realm of instructional design, consider these modes as you play to achieve your goal. So you could say as an intern. As an intern, you're gathering fresh ideas. And you might want to say, come up with an innovative way to incorporate AI in curriculum design. So that would be your entire prompt. As a thought partner, here you're brainstorming and refining concepts. What are the critical considerations for integrating virtual reality into classroom settings? Critic mode. Act as a reviewer, enhancing and evaluating existing ideas. Review the proposed online course structure for potential improvements. Teacher mode. Educate about specific topics or methods. Explain the principles of active learning and how they can be applied in online courses. The next one is key use cases. So instructional design, these cases become your quests. Summarizing long texts. Condense educational material for quick reference. Summarize the key points of this educational psychology textbook chapter for an infographic. Brainstorming ideas. Develop new concepts for courses or teaching methods. Generate a list of activities for an online history course. Writing educational content. Create course examples, study guides, or research summaries. Write an interactive study guide for a module on modern European history. Tones. The tone of your prompt sets the mood for your AI content. Controversial. Friendly and approachable, ideal for student communication. Draft an email to students introducing the new online discussion forum using a conversational tone. Sorry, controversial was not the right word, but you know, we can do that too. That's especially good for a debate. Formal, professional and structured, suitable for academic writing. Compose a formal proposal for integrating AI tools in the college's learning management system. Well, for us, that would be Canvas. And you can actually tell it Canvas and it knows what that means. Format. The format dictates how the AI presents magical findings. For concise, easy to digest information, list the benefits of blended learning in bullet points. Detail report. Comprehensive, in-depth for when details matter. Provide a detailed report on the latest trends in the e-learning and their implications for higher education. So you can harness these modes, use cases and tones and formats to weave those educational instructional design spells, enchanting the minds of your learners and your educators alike in pursuit of all of the knowledge. So the next one is best practices. So it is very important that clarity is your wand, context is your crystal ball, and feedback your potion of insight. So master these tools and you'll be able to command AI with the finesse of all of the wizards that we all know about. This is simply a slide on some prompt principles, and I'm going to give you a copy of this presentation at the end so that you will have access to this. You do not have to be polite with the AI, which is at the very beginning. That's the first thing. However, I tend to do that. I think it's a great practice to include that in your prompts and please. And if something isn't right, you can say no, thank you. And it generally will give you a fairly good response following that. The next thing is actually another way to write prompts. And again, this is actually from OpenAI, and I know it's tiny and really hard to read, so I'm going to give you a copy. But you can see that it says write clear instructions, provide reference text, split complex tasks, give the model time to think, use external tools, and test changes systematically. So that is the kind of the last piece of the chain is chain prompting. And we're going to talk about that a bit. So this is my concluding slide. So in the art of prompt engineering, clarity is very important, but it is a literal genie. So it gives you exactly what you ask for. So ask wisely. Be mixed between specifics with balance, and then again, redo your prompt if it doesn't give you what you want. It's just like brewing a potion. The first try might not be perfect, but with adjustments, you really can figure out how to use the true magic of AI. So I would like to conclude our journey, remembering that we're going to continue this conversation and ask you all to think about those prompts. And I'm going to put the link in just a minute into the chat so that you have a copy of this. So make sure you keep your spell book presentation handy so that you can do this. Also, you know, you can ask it to give you humorous and creative ideas. You can ask it to help you create presentations. You can ask it to help you write stories based on anything that you give it. So with great power comes great prompting. And thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed this brief presentation on prompt engineering.
Well, thank you so much, Anna and Paige. And now, I'd like to invite our voice of chat, Heather Blum. And Heather, would you please give us a brief update on
Sure. There's just a lot of sharing of prompting sites that are out there, frameworks, in addition to what Paige went over. So we are, I'm collecting those. We do have a document that we're putting together for everybody for resources. So we don't worry about, feel free to copy them yourselves, but we will also be providing you a document with all this information. And I believe we had a question from Alex Jacoby. Do you worry, anybody can answer this on the panel, but do you worry that being polite problematically humanizes AI? Good question. Anyone want to take a stab at it?
I personally, I'm a storyteller, and it's a part of the way that I communicate. So my prompting actually comes from my engagement with AI, and I most of the time I'm polite in public, and even in private. So it gets me in conversation mode so that I can do the prompting that I'm good at.
That's all we have right now.
Just wanted to make a comment about what is in the prompt right now about being polite, and it's a piece. My partner always laughs at me when I read a prompt because I'm polite, and my take on that is we're adding to the our words are contributions as well to AI when we interact, and I don't have a whole lot of power over this beast, but I do have a little bit, and the little bit that I can give is how to interact with courtesy. So I really do value that and practice that. I don't know if it matters or not, but it does to me. You know, I'm a social worker, so I have to do something like that.
So
Thank you, Sarah.
I'm going to piggyback off of Sarah's. So one of the things that has been coming out around December or so, ChatGPT started to slow down with its answers, and it kind of was very sluggish. And they decided to play around giving it tips, as in like money. Like, you know, if you give me a better answer, I'll give you. And it actually improved the speed with which the AI responded and the clarity with it, what it got back. So you can also play around with that as well. So it's interesting to look at prompt writing. So one of the things I see in the chat was, how did you learn to write prompts? So I'm going to give you, I taught music for 23 years in elementary school. And if it's not fun for me, I'm not going to do it. So that's why you all got the presentation that you got today. The other thing is learning to write prompts. If you need visuals, then go to a image creation and start writing your prompts to see the images that it gives you, because this is going to give you like instantaneous feedback on exactly what it is that you asked it to give you as opposed to what you got. And then it also helps you learn to put words in different orders so that that you look at the result, and then you can reverse the word order and see the different result, and then you can kind of understand how the images are created. So for example, I created the background today in DALL-E, but all I did, and this is I use the entire thread that I use to create my presentation and some other information about prompting. I actually just went to the very bottom of that thread and I said, create a Zoom background that will go along with the theme of the presentation. And that's what I got. So you can do that. And I have done that a lot of times when I'm working on a presentation and have slides and I need an image suggestion. I will just have it create the image for me right after I create the slide. So that way I know that the image matches the slide, and it's a brand new image that it's never going to be created again by anybody else. And, you know, it's my own original creation.
Thank you, Paige. From our other panelists and guest speakers, do you have any insights to share regarding this? Thanks.
In terms of learning how to prompt, I followed a lot of thought leaders in the field, Ethan Mollick, and Philippa Hardman. David Wiley writes a lot about this. And then I think there's a lot of iteration. As instructional designers, we're used to this. It's never one and done. So it's really about crafting it, recrafting it. And in terms of being polite, I like being polite anyway. And I think more importantly than being polite, or in addition to being polite, we do need to respond back when a prompt is correct or it does well and gives us the right information. And it's just as important to correct the AI tool when you see a discrepancy or you need to clarify, because that tool is not going to learn if you just keep prompting and keep prompting, but don't give it any feedback.
Thank you, Laura. I noticed, yeah.
I'm sorry, Tom, I just wanted to add one more thing. I teach a doctoral course on technology, using technology in our field. And this past week, the entire course was for 90 minutes. We did one prompting session, updating the technology standards for social work. And so an opportunity, we walk through, and every response generated a new question. Just like, there's a lot of talk about anthropomorphizing, forget it, that word, in the chat. But the fact of the matter is, we are having a conversation as if there was a person. We just have to remember that it's not a person. But that's how it is that we're conversing with AI, with intention. But it was such an amazing lesson with the students. I had students, I don't know how many of you guys have students actually texting, writing, and calling you after class to tell you how exciting the class was. But that happened to me on Saturday because it was just so cool doing this.
Thank you, Sarah. And congratulations to all those formats of feedback from your students. Thank you. Joseph submitted some comments and a question in Q&A area. I'd like to invite Heather to help lead and guide this
Yes,
Q&A.
there was a question in the Q&A from Joseph Kennedy. He's asking about various departments across our universities and institutions adopt specific AI tools, and our institutions purchase AI products designed to help students do research, and we introduce them to the industry AI tools that's going to help them prepare for life after college. The same concerns that exist regarding extant research tools, LMSs, Grammarly, will become amplified, namely that the defaults, the hidden algorithms, and processes used by the tool will drive the pedagogy and andragogy. So do any of your institutions have policies or protocols in place to mitigate this type of impact that might happen?
Not yet, for sure. I think all of us are sort of in this position to be thinking, but Joseph, what a really profound question. And so I will kind of approach it from the philosophical angle for just a really brief moment, in that I think the time is now to really highlight algorithmic education. Our students need to reclaim their human agency in a really urgent way right now. And so the more we can show them what is happening behind the scenes, whether it's at school or on TikTok, in my mind, the better.
Thank you, Heather and Anna. And how about this? Let's transit into the hands-on tryout segment, and we certainly will come back to the Q&A and discussions after that. So I'd like to invite Sarah to lead this activity. Sarah, please. Thank you.
Okay, so I'm going to do a little bit of cheating because I use AI. No, I'm just kidding. I am going to give you a simple, really simple strategy though. I don't know how many of you guys use Poe, but I think that I was in a meeting with these guys yesterday and they turned me on to it, and now I haven't really gone to sleep yet. So Poe, P-O-E, Heather, I know that you've probably already put that in the box, opens up all of the different AIs out there and a lot of different chat bots. So it makes it very simple for you to choose between GPT-4, Gemini, Julius, Perplexity. The names are going on and on and on now, so it's much more difficult to remember. Oh, I should use this for that. Poe puts it all in one place for you. So what we were going to do during the hands-on session was we were going to have you all do some prompting yourself and maybe take an assignment and recreate the assignment in a different way, and or create an assignment on your course based on the strategies. Paige, that what you've given is so in depth and so fantastical that I think that might have to be digested a little bit. So if you don't mind, I'm going to give a shortcut in doing that. And because most of the folks here are teachers teaching instructional designers, I'm going to put something up. Let me share my screen. And now this is a school, Magic School is actually an app that we're familiar with that is really super. That's been a tool that educators use and can go in. If you don't know it, please go and find it afterwards. Magic School AI, it's fantastic. But what I'm about to do is I want you guys to point at that, open it up. I think I can also put it in the chat. And good, good. And if you go in there and just play with it for a second, honestly. And if you don't mind, Heather, I'm going to find you and I'm going to watch what you're doing online, okay? So don't do anything that you shouldn't be. Okay, let me find you. Is this you right here? Right now you're active, but you haven't generated any output yet.
No.
I can go in and see what each one of my students is doing. Laura, can I look at you? Since I'm outing you on screen.
I know, but where do you want us to go on this? Because I have a different, mine looks different than yours does.
But whatever you do on yours, Heather, I'm going to be able to watch because I'm sitting in the teacher position. You're in the student position. Ah, isn't that beautiful? Ah, here we go. Jared, I'm going to look at yours, okay?
Okay, sounds good.
Okay, here's Jarrett. I know Jarrett. All right. So he has a rap battle in between two historic figures, Captain Kirk and Ponce de Leon. So we may think that this is just silliness, right? And that it's not much, but you've got students that are actually thinking about the characters that they're supposed to be learning about, Captain Kirk in this case, and Ponce de Leon, and they're just interacting. So play is really good. Even at the higher education level, I found that when my students are laughing, they're generally learning a lot better. So in my class, we would be doing something ridiculous and someone would be reading this out loud. Okay, so, do you mind? Let's see, Heather.
I did a rap battle too. It's funny.
Awesome. Oh, that's great. Queen Elizabeth, Edgar Allan Poe.
That's really cool.
Fantastic. Okay, so let's see if anyone did one that here's Tutor Me. Describe what you're learning that the AI tutor can help you with. Of course, let's start with a question about pathology. What do you currently understand? So this is the way that it goes through and tutors. I don't want to push on anybody's button there. That I don't want to out them.
Sarah, you can click on mine.
Okay.
It doesn't look.
Okay, Paige, let me find you. Here we go. Character. How can I harness the dark side of my coding journey? Darth Vader. Impressive. You seek the wisdom of the dark side. Fear not. I'm here to guide you. So, we get to see what it is that students are actually doing.
Sarah, you can click on mine if you'd like. It's Laura.
Laura.
I'm in character chatbot.
Oh my gosh, I can't tell I don't know the alphabet.
There we go. Ooh, yep.
So awesome. So these are other prompts that it gives you, the student, to ask to continue to interact.
The second one was writing a letter to Juliet's parents arguing that she should be able to marry Romeo. And then the third one is a letter from William Shakespeare to modern readers. What does he want to tell them? So some fun things.
Some fun. Okay, so now let's get out of that. Go into, into Teacher Magic School, teacher version. And this is what Magic School can do for you. I believe Magic School is free because I like to give away a lot of money and not have any for my own self. I pay for everything. But if you, like many people, are afraid that your students aren't thinking anymore, which I find just isn't true. My students usually think more when they use AI to prompt them to move further along. You can go in, ask assignment description, describe a needs assessment. To make the AI more AI resistant, consider adding a requirement for the students to incorporate personal reflections, explain the evolution of a needs assessment. So it gives you lots of different information. And these are folks, if you go to the videos on here, the folks have done a lot of the thinking that we're doing here. So it's very exciting. So you can watch the videos of the developers of AI School, and they'll help you to see what their process is. They have done an awesome job with that particular app.
Wow, that is wonderful. So thank you so much, Sarah, and thank you everyone for your wonderful participation. Give us your thoughts and ideas and comments, and just please feel free either type in chat or submit to Q&A or use your enable your microphone and webcam and to tell us about this what you think or what your experience is. Thank you.
I'm much more selfish than Tom, and I would love to know if you have any resources that we haven't talked about or seen. We are always collecting as well. So if you could throw something up there that you use, that would be awesome.
Several people have, and I've been capturing those and putting them in the document.
Hey, this is Cynthia Barnes. I'm with Barry Law School, and I like the fast-paced interaction of this and all the resources that everybody provided. One of the resources that I found early on in my research with the AI is there's an AI for that.
I love
and they
that.
basically collaborate everybody, all the new ones. So every day new ones get put on there. And it's just amazing. To me, it's just amazing how many different variations. Like I could do a whole job of just this.
Right. I think there's 12,807 right now.
Yeah.
And 16,568 tasks. And then there's 4,800 jobs that are AI related on that site. I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah, thank you very much, Cynthia.
It's there's also another one like that. It's called Futurepedia.
Yeah.
Which is awesome as well.